Despicable Play. We're back with the finale, World War Hulk, issue 5, coming at you with Greg Pak on writing, John Romita Jr. on pencils, and of course, the incomparable David Finch on covers. So, in the collected here, explosion. That means what? The Earth explosion? Like a fight right from the start. So, we jump right in, right back at the gladiatorial arena that Hulk made out of Madison Square Gardens. We're there with Reed about to kill Tony, possibly. The Hulk is questioning why can't he do it? Why won't he do it? Because you killed my people, my wife, and the child in her belly. So, pretty heavy stuff laid on him. But right at the last second, the discs are stopped. And they're like, who did this? You finally took it over, Tony, right? And they're like, nope. LOA says the Hulk did. Or, well, Tony says it was him, and then LOA says, Hulk? And he says, yep. We didn't come here to see your planet die at your, anything like this or anything. We just wanted to make you pay. He's like, because, we wanted, and we think you have, because now the world knows that you're liars, traitors, and killers. And he says, for the last time we didn't do it, but you won't listen. This is your last chance to surrender. And then Hulk's like, for what? And the stone ship gets blown to pieces because we know who's on the way. Right on the other side there. I like when he pops in and he says, hello, old friend. I feel like if you'd just popped a couple extra words in there, it would be really foreboding. I'm not sure if Greg Pak had this in mind, but hello, darkness, my old friend, from Simon and Garfunkel. Great song for one, but this reminds me because the flip side of the century, 1,000 exploding suns, bright, brilliant light, superhero is the void, the darkness and everything. So I don't know, maybe I'm reading too much into it, but I feel like that's a cool little, could be a little thing. You probably would have to know these references to catch them too, because not everyone knows that of this generation, or younger especially. I'm a little odd like that. But we do see the impact of 1,000 exploding suns. That's a pretty hard hit from the Hulk there. Or to the Hulk from the Sentry. Sends him flying through Midtown, Manhattan. We do get the Earth again, so we know there's a big fight coming. And for the most part, the beginning here, the first few blows go to the Sentry, and then the Warbound and with the satellite down, everything, or not satellite, the stone ship, all the stuff is down, the tech. So the obedience discs aren't working, the Death's Head guard, all that stuff is down. So everyone's kind of working together here, though. We see, like, especially on the first page, we see Korg, or not Korg, the first page here, but Korg and the Thing, they're helping to save all the humans that were there. So, but the Hulk says, hey, remember, he calls people off by name, Stark and Richards especially. He's like, never forget, what happens is next is on you. It's all on your heads. And we get a matching blow. It's not just one-sided now. The Hulk is ready, and he's taking it to, the Sentry. I mentioned before about the sound effects. I really still like here, in this book for World War Hulk, I really like the outlined ones. The one across the bottom there. I just feel like it fits better. It's not, the other ones aren't as organic to the situation. If you want some great sound effects, go back and read the beginning of the Cert War from Walter Simonson, Thor 337. Oh my gosh. And then on there until that ends, he does an amazing job. He does not do all the sound effects, but he plots it out in his actual art when he does it where he wants it, and then he has John Workman come in, and Workman does a fantastic job. But part of the reason it works so well is because the artist has put it into, he incorporates it into his art, and it's just amazing. This does not feel like that's done here. It's just like, let's just put a sound effect here. So anyway, it's still pretty. I mean, it's still pretty good. But I like the ones that are hollowed, so they kind of fit. They're just outline of the words in there better to me. So we move through, and the Sentry and the Hulk are trading quite a few blows. Yeah, the Sentry's really happy about it because, you know, he's kind of a schizophrenic and all this stuff. He's kind of crazy, but because he has that void locked inside. So they're just they're just wrecking stuff. It's just their blows are the power is exploding off. What I really like is that they ask him, "What did you tell the Sentry?" And he's like, "Well, I told him to do the right thing. Sometimes you gotta play God." And I love the response because Thad Ross here, he's like, "Jeez," he's like, "You morons, trading one monster for another." I just love it because he's like, "Great, you get one out of control being first, another one you can't control. Genius idea." So, and he says, "Nope," and then Hiroam pops in with, "No, not a monster, a world breaker." So they're trying to help the Hulk because he's caught up in this like fire and stuff, and he's like, they're gonna try to stop him with some machines and whatever. Tony is and everything, but the Hulk says, "No, you fools, you can't, stupid humans, you can't do that." So he's off to come at the Sentry here, and he says, "I love fighting you because I can finally let go." So he's just basically, and he's just punching the Hulk in the face. And Hulk stops the blow, and he's like, "All these years I tried to calm you down, and now in the end it's you, it's me who needs it, who can't stop." And he says, "Goodbye, old friend." And they're like in this tornado of fire and energy and explosions. So the Hulk subdues him, and he basically tells them, "Look, they can call you whatever they want. Savior, monster, destroyer, whatever matter. All that matters is what you think about yourself." And so their energy is just out of control. They're fighting back and forth, but the Hulk is standing toe-to-toe with the strongest being in the universe. Remember this. Strongest being in the universe. And when it's all said and done, look who's still standing. Not necessarily the big green, but Banner. Robert Reynolds goes down, the Hulk. So, as I've said to numerous people on numerous occasions, they're always like, "Oh, this and that, Superman this, blah, blah, blah." You take World Breaker and you go on a power level, strongest being in the universe, winning every time. He is just, right now, he's for about 2 or 3 panels here, he's the strongest character, not panels, pages, in the Marvel Universe. So, bar none right now. I mean, maybe you're going to get some of these cosmic entities and blah, blah, blah. You can say that however you want. But the fact is, the madder the Hulk gets, the stronger he gets. So he has no limits, actually, no upper limits. It just depends on what he's fighting and how mad he is about the fight. And usually, it used to be always, especially when he was less intelligent, the madder he got, he was not that smart. So the more he was losing the fight, the madder he got. So the stronger he got, because he didn't want to lose. Because he kept saying he was the strongest. So, we bump over now. We're all through all that fight stuff. And Rick is happy to see the Hulk. And Hulk's happy to see Rick. But Meek stabs him in the chest. And kills him. Or attempts to kill him. Because he does not want the Hulk to go away. He wants him to continually make him pay. And he's like, "Yep." He's like, and then Brood and everyone's like, "There were Warbound, this is your friend, you can't do this." And he says, No. Meek says, "No, Rick Jones was the first. He was the first one. So he can, and he will. He'll kill me, and he'll do this because you can't let them stop Hulk. You can never stop letting him pay. I'm the one who has to remind you. I'm the one who always has to bring it back. You settle down. You stop being the world breaker and stop making everybody pay, and you changed." You know, he's like, so when I saw the Rebels loading this warp core, the people loyal to the Red King, I said, forget it. I'll let this happen. I knew it wouldn't kill you. I knew it would just make you mad, and we'd come back here and wreck some havoc like we had been all over Sakaar. So he also, in that effect, he had mated with Brood. And he killed his own kids, his own children, his own hive mates, everything. He killed everything. And he says, "Yep, and I do it all over again so that the World Breaker can finally bring it to an end." And so the Hulk just wigs out. So he says he's freaking out. He's going nuts, and he tells Stark, "You better take care of this." Because none of they're like, oh, or not Stark, but Reed says, let's talk about this. We can help. And he's like, just shut up, basically, save it. He's like, I hate everyone. I hate you all so much for all this. But the one thing is, I'll never stop hating myself for what's happened here and what I've done. Because ultimately, he's blaming himself for all the problems. He's saying that the loss of his wife, his happiness, his son. Spoiler, it's a son he has. Sorry. In case you didn't know, I forgot that we haven't been told that yet. It's all on him. So he willingly says, "End this. Do it. Whatever you have to do. Just take it before I break this world." So Stark uses the satellites, and the Hulk lets go. So a combination of these rays that come down and the Hulk letting go, he just lets everything go. All the power, it explodes off, and we still have a conscious Banner. He's still there. He's still awake. I mean, the Hulk is living through everything, but he allows himself to be taken into be captured and stored away back in the old Mojave Desert, back at Gamma Base, 3 miles below the surface. Because, you know, the Hulk may be asleep, and the Hulk may be subdued for now, and he may be put under, but it says the Hulk may sleep, but his rage never dies. And we had a foreboding of things to come. That's a silhouette of his wife Sierra. We get some clips back here in case you weren't remembering, and that would be his child, essentially, rising from the molten layers of Sakaar, which is awesome. I really ended up liking Scar, his son. I thought he was a great character. Still do. I wish they'd bring him back and give him some kind of an option to do. But it's kind of hard to have multiple Hulks into one universe. They're just so strong. Obviously, we've seen that. So that brings us to the end. That wraps it all up. Another really good one. I love it here. This one definitely hits a 4 on me. Again, like I said, I felt like when I read this the first time, it kind of let me down overall, but rereading, I'm really enjoying it. I really liked it, and I feel that I'm gonna go with a 4 on it, a solid 4 again. So that brings, because there was some great scenes. We have the Hulk winning it all twice essentially, because he just gave the power up. He could have stopped everybody. He gave the power up to and then let them help him along to capture him. So the Hulk became the strongest, and I love it because he's always been the strongest there is. So Hulk is the number 1. That's great. The writing was solid on this. I feel like it may, like I said, that might be me, but that little reference to darkness, hello darkness, my old friend, the Sentry, because I mean he kind of loses control. He almost goes to the void, like he's on the he's there, so he's stepping over that threshold as well. So I feel like that's a reference to me. And again, no one has to take that for real, but I'll take it and know that for me it is. So, great book overall. It was worth a read. It's 5 issues. It doesn't really take very long. It's a fairly quick read. There is a lot of fighting. It is a Hulk book after all, but there is still a lot. There is a lot that happens in dialogue. You get a lot of some good little exchanges, and they're fairly similar in a lot of the times. But they just keep reiterating that the Hulk is not the enemy. He could be. He chooses not to be. Kind of what we have to do in our own lives, right? We can be our own worst enemy most of the time. We like to blame everybody else, but really a lot of our problems are on us. And I feel like that's kind of this thing here too. Like, yeah, these outside factors help us along sometimes. And yeah, there's some other things out of our control, but ultimately, we're probably our own worst enemy. And if we would just accept that fact, we'd probably be a lot better off. I'm not saying we need to go like into cryo sleep and everything, but we could still probably be doing better if we were took a little more responsibility. But in the trade, you get you get those bonuses, right? So the bonuses you get here are all the variant covers. Every one had a variant by Romita, JRJR, and then the number 1 had a great exclusive Michael Turner cover. I loved it. From Aspen Comics. And then, so they all had a sketch as well, I believe. So here's 2 and 3. They were all great covers too. I liked them all. 4 and 5. They all kind of highlighted at least who he was fighting the most in those. And then the sketches were all just a basic one. But we get a what's his name? Yep. David Finch sketch, and then you get the sketch of Romita on 4 and 5. I did end up collecting them all because I really, really loved this at first, or at least the idea. You know, I'm a Hulk fan, so I collected all those up myself. But there we go. That wraps this up. So it brings us all to an end. Little long today, sorry. Went over here, but we had a lot to cover, and it was the finale, so why not take a little extra time? Subscribe, like, comment. Thanks a lot.